Hello everybody, how you doing? It is Sunday evening. It has been a cold day today. Not as cold as yesterday. It's been about 20 some degrees, maybe 23 all day today. So I hadn't been in the shop a lot. And I was actually busy earlier today. We had Turner's Club today, which was great. I always love going to Turner's Club. But I've been in the house working on uploading photos and videos, and I've probably uploaded the last 2 days, probably about 13,000 videos and photos. I've got probably twice that many to go. One thing I'm doing, I found that it's much quicker to upload from the hard drive, and I've got a lot of stuff that's on CDs from the early days when I started backing up to CDs, and I have like 2 copies of each. So I've been taking the CD and copying it into a directory on the hard drive, and then I just grab a bulk 400 or 500 at a time and upload them. You know, that way if there's a problem, it's easy to trace what videos are missing. So it's going really well. It's just a slow process, but once they're all on the computer, I can just leave it set, you know, on the table and just, you know, dump a bunch of them up there and run off and do something else, or I can even have it out in the shop for that matter. I've been in and out of the shop for short periods of time. I hadn't spent a great deal of time out here. And let me show you some of what I've been doing. I've got 2 sets of these new blanks I've been working on, and you can see how I've taken the wood or the blanks and I've cut them and inserted the centerpieces to kind of give them a neat effect. There's going to be some more cutting going on these. I'll talk about that in the video. Won't get into it too much here. I've got, well, now that one I've got laid out wrong, but I've got 2 more blanks back here. These are white oak, I do believe. And shucks, I got them all turned around. What the heck did I do to that one? Oh, well, I'll figure it out in a minute. But you can see these I don't think I'm going to mix the centers simply because they're both white oak. But I do have some walnut, and I'll go ahead and put walnut in there, and then I'll cut the other side and put walnut in there. I've got another set of them over here gluing up. These are just on the first 2 cuts. So once these are completely dry, I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got to make the side cuts on those. I think those are going to be some really cool blanks. I'm excited about them. I can't wait to get the first one finished. And I'm still toying with whether or not I want to turn them into a pen right away, simply because I've talked about it before, the issues I'm having with cold weather and CA finishes. So I may turn one just for the sake of turning it to show how it turns. I don't know yet. I haven't got to that point. I've been doing some other stuff today. While I'm uploading these videos, there's a lot of dead time. And I'm out here right now. I thought I'd shoot this real quick, but I'm going to glue the second set up, or that lone set of white oak ones up. Or, yeah, white oak with the walnut. Woo! Walnut centers. I'm going to go ahead and glue those up. And the ones that are in the vices, they've been drying for about 3 hours. They're going to come out of the vices. But while I was in the house, I pulled out my old chip carving knife, and I've been practicing. This is just as a practice board where I did a little pattern and just to get used to holding the knife and what have you. And I've got another one drawn up here. And what I'm going to do with this one, the dark areas are the areas that are going to come out. I'm going to throw a coat of stain over this. And then once it's stained, I'll come back and cut those areas out, and you have a nice contrast of the dark stain and the light. Now this is basswood, of the light basswood. I did this at my other house, the trim in the family room. I stained it and put the finish on it. And then I came back and used a nail in my compass, and I scratched out rosettes all the way down it. I carved the rosettes, and then I put a top coat finish back over it again to protect it so that it wouldn't darken. And it was a really nice contrast. I used a golden oak stain, and then it was a pine behind it. So the pine had that kind of white to it. It really was pretty. So I'm working on that. And let's see. Oh, to do that, you need a compass, a ruler, basic drawing tools, and 1 knife. You can do all kinds of stuff, and there's really 2 cuts is all you have to know for this knife, and it's pretty amazing some of the decorative work you can do. I thought what I would do with those, and the reason why I got them back out, is it's something I can do in the house while it's really cold. It's something I can do while I'm sitting at the basketball game. I mean, you can do it pretty well anywhere, and I thought what I would do is after I get those finished, I just get a nice piece of trim, and I'd cut a frame around the outside of them and put something on the back so they can be hung on a wall. And I may take those up to the shop where I've been selling stuff and see if I can't sell some carvings. Just for the heck of it. It keeps me busy, and it's enjoyable. I have one other thing to do here, and I've got to get on this. I'm hoping to get these blanks finished up and get my saw empty, but I've got a friend of mine at work has an antique cabinet, and this is what they use. There's slots in the cabinet, and this slides into the slot, and the shelf lays on top of it. And in the moving this cabinet around, they've lost one of these. So she's asked me if I could make her another one of these, something exactly this shape, exactly this size. And I found a really nice piece of walnut up in my loft. And basically what I'm going to do is run this through the planer and get it down to the thickness of this one. And then I'll just take, I'll cut it off, and I'll use my my drum sander and just, you know, round the edges and out. I'll be able to get pretty darn close. And I'm just doing it to help her out. She's a good friend of mine at work, and you know, if I needed a favor, she'd do it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for her. Other than that, I don't have a lot going on. It's been a very slow weekend, and for that, you know, I don't feel bad. I've got a lot done, but man, I really would have liked to have been out in this shop a lot more than I was. But Mother Nature didn't cooperate, and I didn't really feel like, you know, heating the shop. It would take a long time to heat it up, and it just, I don't know. It wasn't really. Sometimes you just need to do something else. You know what I mean? But I've talked long enough. I'm going to let you guys go. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. And I know Monday and Tuesday my daughter has dances, so it'll probably be Wednesday before I really do anything. But if something comes up, I will shoot a quick short video and let you know. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great evening, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care, everybody.